Littledance. So as not to lose her knitting needles, my grandma stuck them into a ball of wool, so that both the ends and the points would protrude at unspecified angles from the woolly axis. Though all of the needles converged at the centre of the ball of wool, their extremities reached progressively farther and farther apart from each other. So it is with London tube train portals. In central London you are never far from a tube station, for, just like my grandma's needles in the wool, so many train lines converge in the centre of the hub. But as you travel outwards, the proximity of tube stations to each other can be considerably less the further you venture out across the sprawling anonymity of Greater London. The terminal destination of any of the underground lines can be as much as a county apart from another next to it. The distance between Watford and Amersham is not the 5-minute walk from Charing Cross to Leicester Square. A little to the north of where I was, the Black Needle split itself into a two-headed hydra, stretching even further apart the farther north it progressed, one neck towards Middlesex, the other to a far-off postcode in the direction of Bedfordshire. But I had missed the station. I was travelling on foot, homewards, to the south. Why this Oniric narrative didn't start at the party I had just left, I have no idea. Of course, I have no say whatsoever in the will of the subconscious, but I remember that I had left the party because I didn't feel comfortable around the people there. It was almost midnight. I knew I must telephone my wife, and I knew that I would do so as soon as I was actually about to board a tube train back home to West Central London. I could choose between a long walk along a lengthy, unlit park, which would, eventually, lead to the central hub of the metropolis, or proceed sideways along a dark and charming avenue leading to Primrose Hill, where, I hoped, foolishly, to find a tube station. In the daylight, the fine houses must surely have looked splendid, although at midnight their grandeur was still beguilingly apparent. A few lights shone in the windows, but I found myself absent-mindedly glancing downwards towards the basements. Most of these were dark and uninhabited, but in one I was sure I caught sight of what seemed like a white mask. It glided right up to the glass of the basement doors, and then retreated again, almost like an iridescent fish in a bowl. I waited. In just a few seconds, the white mask re-emerged from the darkness, pressing hard against the glass. Eyes. They flashed from the sockets in an instant, like cat's eyes, glistening black and green and yellow, and fixed intently on me. Then another mask appeared, nestling alongside the first mask, which also instantly acquired its own pair of eyes, bright pale blue and beaming out from its orbitals. Then, shimmering into focus from the darkness behind, came another. 3 white masks in all were bobbing up and down at the glass, piercing eyes floating purposefully against the basement window. I saw that the gate leading downstairs at street level was open, and, arrested by the intensity of the staring masks, I made my way down 2 or 3 steps. The faint light from the inside gave me a clearer view of the 3 masks, and above one there was a sheen of black lacquer. Taking 2 steps nearer, I could make out hair pulled tight from a forehead into a bun, and I heard the sound of faint laughter. Slowly, the door opened to reveal 3 girls of oriental origin clad in jet-black kimonos, and not, in fact, wearing masks at all, but their chalk-white complexions gave that impression and gleamed out between the black necklines of their gowns and hair. They seemed formal and smart, somehow, a traditional dress and meticulously prepared. Because of the heat of a sweltering August, I wore only a short-sleeved shirt and chinos, and I was aware that my appearance might be too casual for their dapper uniformity. The foremost of the three girls spoke first, and smiled. "Yes, this is the right place," she began. "We could see you were unsure at first. This is Littledance. Here we must wait until it is time. What is your name?" I told them. "Deiri. This is Sumiko, this is Mina, and I am Sora." The girls gave perfectly synchronized bows, and I offered a clumsy one in return. I was cautious of the fact that I needed to phone my wife, maybe within the next hour. "Littledance?" I asked. "Yes," replied Sumiko, "and as Sora has said, here we must wait until it is time." "And we are to practice," added Mina. "Yes, practice is most important," agreed Sora, the original hostess, and she gave a smile which offered me a glimpse of her pearly white and tiny teeth. "I will take your shoes and socks. I have sweaty feet. I've always had sweaty feet. And your mobile phone. But I should call my—" "You cannot make Littledance with a mobile phone," cautioned Sumiko. "It is not respectful." And she gave a pout, hiding her also beautifully aligned teeth away again.